Now when you're modding your PC case, there's really no end to it. You can just keep going until finally you just decide you're not doing anymore. Now, I've gotten a couple cool suggestions from the comments, and I've thought up a couple more cool things I could do to this computer, even though I thought I was done like 3 or 4 times already. Now I'm about to put the finishing touches on this case, and since I've recorded everything that I've done to this case so far, all the mods that I've done in kind of tutorial videos, I figured that I would show you putting on the finishing touches as well. Now you can clearly see that I have this big open area right here in the side of my case that is usually meant for like a drive cage or water cooling components or things like that, but since I'm not using any of that, it's just kind of open and just exposed. And then I've got my drives all exposed right here, which you can definitely see through the extended window that I put into my case. Now I think I'm just going to cover up my drive cage because, I mean, nobody really cares about looking at your hard drives. It's not aesthetically pleasing enough to show off, so I'm just going to use the same process that I used to make my power source cover, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, the link to that video will be in the description. Besides covering up the hard drive cage, I'm going to be filling in this space right here with something. I have decided I'm going to put kind of like a white panel back here with some decals on it, and then I have a little Stormtrooper action figure that I'm going to put in there too. He's just going to live in my case from now on. And I think that'll be it for the finishing touches, although I might also put some white on top of this panel right here, and I do have to install my RGB lighting inside the case, which will, I think, really bring it together, so let's do it.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. I remember you.
One more thing I've decided to do is to paint the top of my CPU cooler, just because it's kind of like copper and silver right now and shiny, and it doesn't really go well with the rest of the case.
Before the memory's gone, I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. I remember you.
And that's the finishing touches, all done. Now the only thing I have left to do is to put in the lights, which I'll do tomorrow. And this really has been a huge learning process for me. I've never really modified to this extent a computer before. I've worked with acrylic, I know how to manipulate it, and I've spray painted certain things before. I've taken apart computer parts, I've done all of these things, but I've never really done them all to one case. One thing that I've learned in this process is that vinyl stickers, as opposed to sticker paper, which I actually used on these decals in this video, is far superior, because sticker paper kind of lets the paint bleed into the sides of it, which makes it kind of blurry, whereas vinyl just comes off clean and leaves clean lines, and it looks great. Another thing is, during the process of making the power source shroud, I marked where I was going to bend the acrylic with a Sharpie, and after I painted it, the Sharpie mark kind of just shows through the paint, which isn't really noticeable, but if you really look, you'll see it. I also have a couple imperfections in the paint job that I did today. Specifically, in some areas the paint is kind of bleeding a little bit, and in other areas it's not as vibrant as I'd like it to be. It's kind of like dull, and some of the black from the back kind of shows through a little bit. Now, I have no idea how this happened, because I painted these parts exactly the same way as I've painted all the other parts in my computer, but I don't know, I'll have to learn how to paint better, I guess. Now, I plan on doing a lot more case mods in the future, and I'll probably do a couple more mods to this thing right here in the future. It is my family's computer, so I have access to it whenever I want. I still have a lot to learn, such as getting better at paint, doing 3D acrylic work, things like that. And if you want to see me grow from a novice case modder into a professional, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, join the Dietec community, and I will see you in the next one.